Hi, good people. It's Amy from Savor, Salvage, Scent. I hope you're having a great weekend. For those of you who are new to the channel, this mostly focuses on all things fragrance related. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for subscribing and for keeping the conversation going. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I welcome thoughts, questions, ideas. And if you enjoy this video or content, it would mean the world to me if you would give it a thumbs up and if you would click the red subscribe button so we can stay in touch, and it really helps my channel grow. So thank you. So today I thought that I would take part in a theme that I believe was instigated by Dr. Rose of Dr. Rose's Perfume Corner. I'm relatively new to being a subscriber to her channel, but I think she does such interesting, smart, creative, fun things, and she's just got this cheeky sense of humor, and also I feel like she just really talks about interesting perfumes and fragrances. And then she explored this theme of 5 perfumes you would give as gifts to friends, and then say a little bit about the friends to kind of give you an idea of why that perfume. She and a group of people explored this week through their channels. I think 6 or 7 maybe people, and somebody else that I'm relatively new to. She goes by the name of the Fragrantician, kind of like the beautician, and she is wonderful too, and also just I think explores really interesting scents, and I love her style. So I reached out and asked if they would mind if I explored this theme too, and I encourage you guys to too. I think it's a great idea. So I'm going to dive right in and talk to you about 5 perfumes I would give as gifts, and what kind of friends I would give them to. And I'm going to tweak this a little bit, and at the end talk about a perfume that I would love to receive as a gift. So I'm going to dive in. And you know, maybe it goes without saying, but I think to a perfume collector or reviewer, to say that you would give this perfume as a gift is a pretty high order and compliment, because we get our noses on lots of things. And yeah, I think all of these I just think are really wonderful, have a lot of personality, etc. So here I go. Number 1, this is a Guerlain in the Aqua Allegoria range, and this is called Limon Verde. You can see I'm almost about 2/3 through this bottle. This is my second, I think, in my life, and I have a third in a drawer somewhere because I don't ever want to be without it. It's interesting when people talk about, oh, this is a type of perfume you can give anybody. I often find those perfumes to be lovely, but sometimes don't have a ton of personality. And I think it's because, you know, it's hard to give sometimes perfumes as gifts. That it's an intimate thing, and you hope to know that person well. Having said all that, this perfume, I think, is one of the perfumes that I would give to just about anybody. No matter where they're at in the gender spectrum, no matter kind of what they like. To me, I just can't imagine not many people liking this, and I think it's just so bright and uplifting. It's a citrus, but yet it's not your average citrus either. It's really beautiful, and I've actually given this as gifts to a few people who don't typically love perfume, who have really enjoyed it. So who's the person I would give this to? I would give this to my friend Molly. She's one of my friends I've had the longest in my life, for decades, since the beginning of our college years. And while she, I would say, is really getting into fragrance and is a creative person, this is a really bright and uplifting scent. The other, another reason I would give it to her is, I think she doesn't have a lot of Guerlain, I want to say, and so I would love to introduce her to more that I think she would like. She's also a person, she is an outstanding gardener, among many things. She's also an amazing cook, and so this has elements from the natural world and also even cooking. It's a really lime-based scent, but it also, to me, has like a grassy smell, and it kind of works as a cologne. For those of you who are interested, I think it runs, you can find it full price, I think it's $90 or $100, but you can find it for about $45. and it's just beautiful. And the people that enjoy it just talk about, and I am the same way. I love this. It's so uplifting. It's beautiful. It's got those elements of the natural world and even the little bit of lime from cooking. So I just think she'd really find this interesting. So Limon Verde by Aqua Allegoria for my lovely friend Molly. All right, next. For those of you who aren't familiar, the niche house called Solstice Sense is really my favorite house. I discovered them a few years ago, and I just, they love what I love, it seems. They're magicians. They make incredible things. They're out of Gainesville, Florida. The noses and perfumer's name is Angela St. John. She works with her partner and creates just amazing things. I love every little bit of the experience. They make gorgeous scents. I love the illustrations and the way they describe them, and they are just so wonderful at customer service. They make you feel so special. Their price point, I think, is great for the quality. I talk a lot about a lot of their scents, but I realized I haven't really talked about one of my new favorites as of maybe about a year. It's called Conjure. Their scents run anywhere from like 75 to, I want to say, like 90, 95. This is, I think, a 1.7 or 2 ounce bottle. You can see they do really beautiful illustrations. Look at the color of this juice. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the juice and the friends I would give it to. This is, to me, they do incense scents really, really well. This is, to me, a combination of wood, amber, incense, and vanilla. This reminds me of classic perfumes that, to me, would be considered orientals. Things like Taboo, Ciara, oh gosh, even Obsession. I'm trying to think of older things. But typical, I should say, or not typical, some of the best kind of old school oriental scents. But this to me is kind of, I don't know, it's like a crossroads between a modern take on that and a little bit, it's got a little bit of that hippie head shop vibe, but in a really classy way. Like, it's just so good. And this is one where, like, I love this in the winter and fall, although I wore it today because I can't get enough of this thing. And I often wear it to bed. I just think you smell delicious. You smell like incense. It's like vanillic. It's warming. It's one of those that I just go, oh my gosh, I can't stop smelling this. It is so good. Okay, so who would I give this to? I have two friends that are also neighbors, just live a block or two over from me. Their names are John and Eric, and they love some of these older school scents. They also love things like Aromatics Elixir. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some of the older scents, but we've shared a lot of scents, and they love some of those old school scents, and I think they would really, really like this house. They're very open-minded. They're both very artistic. So one is an artist and framer, and then one is a wine rep or a wine salesperson and connoisseur. And they're both just super creative, open. They love fragrance, and they like old school scents, and they're not also afraid to try new things. I think they just would find this house interesting. And so I think this would be a really good choice for them. For those of you who are interested, I think this runs 75 or 80, and it's killer. Like, it is just so beautiful. So Conjure by Solstice Sense for my friends John and Eric. All right, next. Cat shenanigans. I'm not sure if you can hear. Okay, next. One of my dearest friends is my sister Leigh. Actually, I'm close to all of my sisters. I have 3. However, Leigh is the one I would say that's most into fragrance. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a gift I would give to her. Just to give you an idea, Leigh has worked in retail and like fashion for years and years and years. She recently retired. But she, to me, is one of my style icons. She just has so much style. She owned a home furnishing store for a long time. Beautiful things. I would call her like a classic beauty. And frankly, and I say this in the nicest way, she's kind of bougie. As far as perfumes, she got me into fragrance when I was young. She wore perfumes that I loved when I was growing up. So one was Chanel Cristal. She got me into Jo Malone. She wears a lot of Jo Malone, Chanel, etc. So she likes nice things. And I think this is a house that she has not explored. And to me, it's just like utter class and beauty. So Serge Lutens, I'm getting to know his fragrances more. I recently got my hands on Un Bois Vanille. I have wanted this for years. This is what I would call not your average vanilla scent. And that's another reason I would like to give this to her. I know that she likes, she likes a lot of different scents, like citrus scents. But when I think about it, I don't remember her wearing vanillas. And I think she would be surprised at how interesting this vanilla is. It's a mixture to me of like vanilla. It has a little licorice. It has some other elements, but it's just really, it's really interesting. And to me, I mean, who can say why? It just smells like glass. My God, it's so good. So I would love to introduce her to this house. Very honestly, there are many other Serge Lutens I considered, like Araby or, gosh, I'm trying to think. Oh, there's an orange flower one that I don't own, but I bet she would love. But I thought the vanilla one would be a fun one to try with her. I just think she would find it interesting. For those of you who are interested, a full bottle of this runs anywhere from about 100 to 120, 140. I got a really good price watching this on eBay. But anyways, that's how much it retails for. And I just think everything about this would appeal to her. The very minimal packaging, really beautiful. And the fact that it's just incredible. I think she would love it. So Serge Lutens, Un Bois Vanille from my sister Leigh, who's also one of my closest friends. So next, what kind of perfume would you give another perfume snob? Okay, so I have wanted, I know this gets a lot of talk and a lot of love in the fragrance community, but it's deserved apparently. I have wanted this scent for years and years and years, as in like 3 or 4 years. Long time for me. And honestly, it's been a little pricey. I finally got a great price, so I went for it. So this is Byredo's Verde Afrique. There's some really interesting storytelling behind this. I want to say somebody said that the designer made this thinking about Josephine Baker. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then look at this packaging. I'm sorry, I know the packaging isn't everything, but it certainly isn't a bad thing when it's done well. So you open it up and there's the box. And then, I mean, they're just little things like this beautiful seal. You can see Byredo. I don't know if you can see it. It's embossed on the box. So cool. And then you open it up and bear with me. Within then is the beautiful bottle and a little slip with more information about it. So really impressive. And then this gorgeous minimal bottle. So a lot of people have talked about this, but it's one, honestly, I got it and I was like, well, no wonder, because it's awesome and it's different. And so I would call this not your average citrus. My friend Alyssa, so Alyssa is the person I would give this to. She is a perfume connoisseur or collector for a long time. My experience of her is she doesn't hoard perfume. She's very thoughtful and careful, and she buys really good perfume when she does. And sometimes that means samples for a while to really get to know them. And she just likes really interesting things, and she goes deep with them. So she, like, I believe one of her first beloved scents was Zen by Shiseido, which is so cool, aromatic. She loves some of the Lutens scents, etc. So let me tell you a little more about Verde Afrique for those of you who don't know it. This can be purchased, I think full price, it's like around $120 or $150. but I waited and waited and found a box on auction for $60. I was so thrilled. Okay, so this is essentially orange with lemon, and here are the interesting elements, and this is why I was like, oh my gosh, I love citrus perfumes, but when I heard these other elements, I was like, yeah. Vetiver and marigold and a little wood. There's other things, but those are the things when I smell it that stick out the most. I love marigold. I love the kind of pungent tartness, bitterness. I am also a gardener in the garden a lot, and I love that scent. And it gives almost like this woody smokiness between that and the wood to the scent. And so it's just a really interesting, I would call it super unisex, citrus scent with personality. So I could just see Alyssa really loving this. And Alyssa, if you're watching, I'd love to know if you've tried this and if it does sound like something you would like, or if you've tried it, if you like it. So for a perfume nut with really great taste, Byredo's Bois d'Afrique. Beautiful, beautiful presentation. Okay, last is for my best girlfriend, Sarah. Sarah is an artist. She's a painter. Well, she's a creative. She can do many, many things, but she teaches painting. She's an educator, and she's just an amazing person that has so many interests. And I always say, like, she loves every little thing and she sees every detail. So she's just an amazing person to know. There are a lot of things I would consider giving her, but I thought a set would be really interesting for her. And I was thinking about the fact that she also loves citrus. She tends to kind of like freshies. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of get her a couple citruses that maybe like bridge to other things. I was also thinking about the fact that Shalimar's 100th birthday is this year. And so I was thinking it would be cool to get her the original Shalimar. Now this one I think would be a little tough for her, frankly. It's kind of old school, smoky, incensey. I think it has like myrrh, tonka, vanilla. So kind of like a smoky, almost cigarette smoky citrus. This one might be a little tough for her, but I think she would grow to love it based on pairing it with a more modern flanker. So this can be found really affordably, the old school Shalimar. I think it runs about, gosh, you can find it for about $40 a bottle now, and it's great. It's one of my favorite scents. But again, it's not one that, let's say, people aren't hugely into perfume will love overnight. It's a little challenging, I think, for people who are kind of newer to it. However, the flankers, I think, are a little easier to love for people who aren't deeply into perfume. This is the Fleur d'Angers one. They do a flanker of this, what they call the souffle or souffle, every year, I think. And there's also one called Lumiere. This Orangere one is one, I love orange blossom, so I couldn't wait to get my hands on this. I got a good deal on this, $60 or $70. I think it's going for like $200 or $300 now. But I was thinking it'd be cool to get her a set of the old school Shalimar with a newer flanker, maybe the Lumiere that smells more like lemon, kind of lemon chiffon, and to pair them together, because I think she would fall in love with the newer one and then start to experience this and grow to love this too. And because she's my best friend, I thought it would just so be cool to get her something that celebrates Shalimar's 100th birthday. So these would be gifts to my best girlfriend, Sarah. So last but not least, I thought it would be fun to end with what's a gift that I would give myself right now. Another niche house that I really, really love, and I wish people talked about more and experienced more, is called La Rematica. The nose's name is Laredo Remsing, I believe. She is just such a cool person, and I love her scents. I have been getting to know her scents just for the last year or so. I own one called Hello Delicious, and I own one called, let me think, Brocade. They're both just gorgeous, I think, florals, really, really beautiful. Her scents, I'll give you an idea of what one of her bottles looks like. She has oils that I think are around 30, I want to say, 25, 30, something like that. And then the alcohol sprays are 1 ounce and they're, I believe, 45. This is one of mine called Hello Delicious. And when I ordered one recently, she sent a few samples kindly, and one is called 9 Dragons. I find that like musky citrus scents I don't always love. I read about it though, and I thought when I read it, I was like, she will do this really in an interesting manner. And the name really appeals to me. For those of you who don't know, I love almost everything Asian based. I'm a chinoiserie freak. And when I read about the scent, I believe it's made to kind of like explore Chinese qi energy. And it has things like lemon verbena, lotus flower, tea, wood in it. And so I was like, I'm either going to love this or I'm not going to like it at all. It was one of those, but I was like, she will do an interesting thing no matter whether I like it or not. So I got this sample, and guess what, you guys? I love it. I freaking love it. Can't stop thinking about it. It's so good. It's so like, it's got a little bit of musk too, and it's just like, to me, it smells fresh. And I know it's not supposed to be a water scent. It's really supposed to be like stemmy tea, verbena, but I get this like, and I mean like the feeling of water feeling. And again, it's called 9 Dragons. And so that's on my want list, and it's a gift that I want to give to myself. So I think that's going to be one of my next. I'm really trying to cut down costs this year and explore the perfumes I have, but that is a type of scent I don't own a lot of, and I think would just be a really good purchase for me. So 9 Dragons by La Rematica. So for those of you who are watching, I would love to hear what gifts are you thinking about giving right now, or maybe as the next round of holidays comes up, and what perfume, what's the next on your list as far as one that you would love to give yourself. So cheers, have a great night.